So when I say the words dinosaur, black rhino, the Arch of Constantine, there are some common things that come to mind. Now, it probably doesn't come to mind to everybody who's in the room, but the common denominator, the commonality between all three of these things is history, right? History is rich, and history is a way for us as human beings to be able to track things, to be able to have understanding of the things that once were and the things that came behind it, right? So many different species spawned from dinosaurs. So many different species of rhinos spawned from black rhinos. The Arch of Constantine, which was found in Rome, tells the story of the Roman people and who they were and why they did what they did and what kind of level of class they had and education. And just this one building begins to really speak to the core of who they are. So we can all agree in this room that history is extremely important in the preservation of anything. But what happens when that preservation is disrupted? What happens when the preservation of a thing is non-existent because of the fear of people finding out about its history? Today I want to talk to you all about the deterioration of a people due to lack of preservation. As a black woman, I am very much so involved into this deterioration. We as black people, we as brown people, we as minorities in the United States of America and abroad have faced something called rewriting. And rewriting is basically what the slave masters did, basically what Rome did, basically what all those people did. They came in and they took a history from people and they rewrote it in order for it to fit the narrative of what they needed it to fit. And I believe that because of this narrative, or the lack thereof of history being presented to us in a way of truth, being presented to us the same way the historians take time with the Arch of Constantine, or they have taken time and created museums and created artifacts and created books and classes and all types of things in order to preserve the history of dinosaurs, but the same care has not been given to a people. When we go in grade school from ages kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, we learn a few things about black people. We learn about Martin Luther King. We learn a little bit about Malcolm X. We learn about Rosa Parks. But there are so many more names that are great foundations in black history, in American history, that are never talked about because it's not a part of normal history lesson. That needs to change. It's not the fault of history teachers in school that they don't teach these things. It's just that the information has not been inserted into lessons. I had to wait till I got to college in order to learn about my people, to learn more than Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I had to pay for it. But that should change, don't you think? I think we're at a place where we have to present our education from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. Now, I'm not saying we should rewrite history or we should rewrite our history books. We should just add the whole truth. Slavery was the first way that history was stolen. They began to slowly but surely delete the history from the black diaspora coming all the way from West Africa. Slavery started and it goes into Jim Crow. And this is a time when many of the systematic ways of oppression and the systematic ways of deteriorating of people by not allowing them to learn exactly who they came from began. They began to separate us, not just from black and white, but separate blacks from blacks. From the color of our skin, one being better than the other, lighter versus darker. This was always a way to rewrite history. Many black people don't know that they come from more than just slaves. Our history starts way back, even as a time of kings and queens in Africa. Now we come up to a place where the prison system has become the new slave market, has become the new cotton fields. When young boys, young black boys and young black girls are coming up, the ratio of black boys to black girls is staggering. It's 36 to 28. But the moment that these black boys, these black girls turn 18, that number changes drastically. And I believe that it changes drastically because a lot of these boys have never learned their history. There is no preservation because there is no representation. They don't know about the people who grew up in their neighborhoods that were just like them and made it out. They don't know about the potential that they can have or the things that they can obtain with their minds and with education because there is no representation, there's no preservation, there's no monuments, there's no great lesson besides the 28 days in February, which is cool, but not enough time in order to impact a people. That number changes 20 to 1. That's right. There are 20 black girls to every one black man. Can you see the destruction at this point? Can you now picture the endangered species beginning to be a part of be synonymous with black people? The destruction of the black man is one of the major parts of history here. I believe that there's someone somewhere, maybe many years ago, that said, if I can help them never to learn about themselves, then they will never learn about themselves. Where did we come from? Who are your ancestors? What part of Africa did you come from? And why did they want to invade Africa? Why is that one of the most targeted places on the earth? So many questions that need answers, and I believe that it takes kindergarten through 12th grade in order to solve this problem. It takes more than just black people wanting to know this history. We have to get to a place where we should want all children of all colors, all races, all creeds to learn this American history. We have to get to a place where it's not just black history or white history or Native American or Spanish history, but it is American history where we can blend all of our truths. We can blend all of our past. We can come together to learn all of our monuments, all of our great sculptures and great buildings and great truths and great people, and we can bring it together and pour it into little kids. And I believe that deterioration will change. That deterioration will turn into representation. And the numbers in prison will go down. Incarceration will go down. Death by gun violence will go down. Drug and alcohol will go down. Teen pregnancy will go down. All from a history lesson. It's scary, I know, because it will cause a lot of us to change. It will arise a lot of questions. But with time and effort, all these questions can